Hey crafty people! Welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Okay, so as you can see, I have my gel plate out. And in case you're new to my channel, what I've been doing for the entire month of March is participating in Ceri the Crafter's hashtag Mixed Media March challenge. And for the challenge, you need to create a project every day for 31 days in a row. So if you started on March 1st, that means a project every day for the month of March. It needs to be rectangular in shape and incorporate gel printing, the number corresponding to the day that you're doing it, and your signature. And this is a project I tried before. And we're going to see if we can get it to work this time around because the first time it was an epic fail. And what I want to do is kind of create a scene on my gel plate using some die cuts. So this grass die is by Fawn. I'm just going to do that. And then I've got the Sizzix. Tim Holtz and Sizzix dies. It's the Wildflower set. It's the original set. I don't remember which numbers because there's 3 sets that came out originally. These are not the vault set that he came out with last year. Hold on, I need to fix something. These are dies. I always struggle to get these to die cut out properly, and they definitely didn't like being cut out of Yupo. So I ended up having to go back in and pretty much fussy cut the whole dang thing out again. This one just did something really weird. I think the die may have shifted while it was cutting, and that's what the problem is. I'm just going to line that up on top of a blade of grass. Like so, we're going to press everybody down. That one I accidentally lopped off the top of. So we're just going to stick it on the plate. This one I lopped the bottom off of, but I think we're okay. No, I think I may want it to go up the full height. All right, and now that that's on the plate, I am gonna get some blue paint and we are gonna roll over top of all of this stenciling. And I just have my glass mat off to the side. I probably should have pulled out my other gel plate, but I didn't feel like doing so. Oh no, that did not stay on. Why these are not sticking very well to my mat or my plate. I almost feel like I do better if I grab a paintbrush. Okay, that got chopped off. We're just done with that one. Alrighty, so now we are gonna peel up our stencils, hopefully. Or in this case, masks, since we're masking off those areas with them. Not perfect. But I think it's gonna be okay. There are a few spots where I think I may grab a brush, try and lift some of the paint off, like over here on this stem. While the paint's wet, I can do a little bit of editing. It'd work better probably if I had some water handy. Oh, I do. I think that's pretty much as good as I'm gonna get it. What I now need to do is let it dry completely, and then we're gonna color in the individual flowers. And last time I used paint and a paintbrush, but this time I think I might try using my Posca pens to do the coloring and see how that works, because they are a paint pen. So I'm gonna set this aside, let it dry, have a bit of a cleanup, and then once it's dry, we will come back and try adding color to our flowers. Okay, so I'm back. It's dry. I was testing out my Posca pen on that one. So let's go ahead and go around and color in what we're gonna color in. Just trying to pull out the colors I want so I don't have to keep digging in the bag. Let's do this. I'm just going to go around and color everything in, and I'm definitely going to speed this up. For this one, I want to leave the petals white, and what I'm going to use is white to pull this off once the Posca pen stuff is dry. So that's why I'm leaving the rest of that flower blank. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this to dry completely, and then we are gonna put some white paint on it and try pulling it, and fingers crossed it will work this time. Okay, so I believe it is all dry. So we are gonna put down our white, and I'm using Apple Barrel Snow White. And I know I'm putting a good amount, but paint dries really fast here for some reason. I want to make sure I get it coated and our paper down without having any issues of the paint drying on me. And actually rolled out, it's not that thick of a coating. So that seems to have worked well. Let's put our paper down. And I'm using some Strathmore finger paint paper, which I actually picked up at Joann's because it was on clearance for, I think, $4 a pack with 30 sheets in the pack. And the sheets are big. They're like, I don't know how long this piece is. Let's see. This is 12 and possibly 12 by 20, 12 by 18, something like that. All right, now comes the moment of truth. We're gonna try pulling it. And this is where it failed the last time I did this. And in fact, the last time I let it sit overnight, because supposedly if you let it dry really well, it'll pull better. And all I pulled off was the white paint that I put on. None of the other stuff came off. So let's see if we're gonna get success. I don't think so. I have a feeling this is going to be another epic fail. All right, we're gonna leave it sit longer and hopefully it will dry and then pull up, and I won't have to try and figure out something else to do for today's video because I really don't want to have to do that. But now paper is like sticking to the plate. I'm just kind of curious as to what it would look like if it actually pulled up nicely. Like, that would be so cool if it would actually pull. Sadness. Sadness. Well, more of it came off this time than the last time. Like, this is definitely a better pull than the last time I tried this, but it's still not, honestly. I'm wondering if it doesn't just make sense to try and save this. Okay, so it's not great, but I think I have a way oop, I missed a spot over there. I think it's all right to save this piece. So let me get rid of this bit off to the side that I was getting my Posca pen to work on. I am actually gonna let this dry, and while it's drying, I'm gonna clean up what's left on my plate and put that away, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've pulled out my Tim Holtz Idea-ology collage roll, which they don't make this, it's been discontinued, but you might still be able to find it out in the world. He switched last year to doing them as like pre-cut sheets, but we're gonna put this on, and I know you're like, wait, you can't see any of the background? When you add wet medium to these tissue paper type sheets, what ends up happening is the white of it disappears. So I'm gonna just trim this off because it's way longer than I need, but I figured I want the butterfly on. Let's trim off over here. Did I cut too much off that way? No, I'm okay. Okay. So we are gonna use some matte medium and a brush and just apply that all over the background and put this on, and it should work out into something I will hopefully like. This brush is like so in need of conditioning because it had glue dry on it. So it's like the bristles are completely stuck together. And do a coat on top. All right, I'm gonna need to let this dry and then figure out what else we're gonna do with it to turn it into something. So I'll be back after it's dried. Okay, so I have gone ahead, this is dry, and I went ahead and backed it with some coffee dyed paper and did a little bit of stitching around it. And I pulled out a few things. I've got, this is it's the vintage labels by Tim Holtz and Sizzix, the ones where you can ink the die and it'll deboss and ink the label as it die cuts it out, which I'm gonna use to put my number on. And I've die cut my number out using, it's the new Tim Holtz Sizzix set. It's Vault Industrial, and the number's 666874. These are the ones that just came out, what, like a couple weeks ago was the launch video. And so I die cut it out of another piece of gel printed index card, and I'm going to use this to help me get the placement right on the letters. So let's scoot those over for a sec because I do want to ink this a little bit. I'm gonna grab my antique linen and just knock the whiteness of this back a little bit. So there you go. It's just a little less white, which I like. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place this down so that I can get, you know what, let me grab a little bit of low tack tape. I'm just gonna stick it on my hand, lift it up, because that'll take away even more of the stickiness. And we're just gonna tape that down, tape that down so that we can glue our pieces and stick them down where they should be. For these pieces, I'm going to use tweezers and a little art glitter glue. You, of course, can use whatever glue you like, but this is definitely one you're going to want a precision tip for. Probably should have done that a little lower, but it's too late now. Looking at that and I'm like, that is not straight. So we're gonna adjust a little. Because I didn't perfectly line those two guys up straight to each other when I die cut them. I'm using my quick pick. It's got sticky stuff on the, or my quick stick because it's got sticky stuff on the one side. Just want to make sure I am not gluing this piece down. There we go. And I think what I may do is, since there is room down at the bottom, grab my pen and put my signature underneath. And let's see, it's gonna go here. And I think I want to add, these are 49 in Market washi stickers. I think I'm going to add a butterfly and maybe one of the clip washis. Let's start by, I want to ink the edges of this. Let's go ahead with cracked pistachio, which is what's on this dauber. And we're going to glue it down. Now let's see, I think I'm gonna go with this little butterfly over here and put him down like so. And I'm gonna grab my silicone bone folder and kind of rub them down. There we go. And I'm kind of wondering, do I want to do that going that way? Let's give it a try. I'll just put it in place and we can take a look and see if we like it. I actually kind of do. Let's go ahead and burnish it down because that'll make the areas around it disappear. Like the white that was there kind of disappears when you press your washies down really well. And I actually think, you know what, I want to round the corners just a little bit. So we're going to use the smallest setting just to make the corners a little rounded. And there we go. Yeah, I think I'm sitting here debating. I'm like, I think maybe, you know what, let's do the edges. Let's ink our edges. And I'm actually going to use black soot to tie in the black of the stitching and the black of the collage paper. All right, so now we're done. And day 30 is complete, and we've got one more day to go before the end of hashtag Mixed Media March 25. I'm a little sad about that, but I'm also a little bit relieved because I'm getting kind of tired from posting every day. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.